With the official release of Grounded 2's preview, fans of the original are wondering if this sequel is worth jumping back into. Has Grounded 2 figured out the secret sauce to the Honey I Shrunk the Kids gameplay? Does Grounded 2 set the standard for survival games going forward? Me and the crew jumped into the game to give our take on the preview, so stick around to the end to hear our final score. Let's jump into it. So let's start off with the good. And I'm going to be honest with you, Grounded 2, as much as I thought it was an improvement on some categories from the original game, the good is hard to find, but I will say I will give credit to devs here to say, well, what were the most annoying things that we saw in Grounded 1? It was the breaking of all the different equipments, the inability for you to really do much of any really scavenging unless you had things like axes, hammers, shovels, and all that stuff. And they kind of like circumvented that grind and made it a little bit easier to get that stuff by just building these Omni tools. Because you think about it, when you have your like stockpile of weapons in your backpack or whatever, you have all these resources you have to collect from the first game. And the problem is if you have, let's just say, a shovel, a hammer, an axe, and whatever else you want to have, that takes up slots in your backpack. And so they kind of got rid of that and created this Omni tool that is basically like an advanced tool that can be used in many different means. And it's automatically built into your character once you find the resources needed to then create those different various weapons or tools. And I really like the fact that they added these little changes, like creating new weapons. The Omni tools are great, and a lot of different insects like the cockroach and many others. They even updated some of the visuals on some of these insects, making them more gross and more annoying. Like the wolf spider is now way more hairier than it was in the original, and just the overall look of the game looks a lot better, which I'm happy about. So I think overall the good things is really just it's taking the original game and then taking the little things that people were really frustrated about and just kind of expanding upon them with the map and making it look great. And even just the fact that these tools and weapons, there are things that are a lot more easier to manage. Like, you know, when me and you both played on stream, we did fight a lot of insects, and technically when we saved all of our stuff, we were able to make a lot of different equipments, right? Because we had all that stuff there, and it was actually easier for us to upgrade. And we didn't kill a wolf spider on stream, but we were able to like make some good armors to basically get ourselves prepared to fight even bigger battles. And we were able to then fight against other insects that were higher level, like beetles and even stink bugs, which were annoying as hell. But the fact is, like, you actually get the ability to fight more enemies, even if it's just me and you playing, which I thought, you know, that is something that I'm going to talk about later. But Haki, what is a good thing that you saw here?
Yeah, so I want to specifically talk about crafting. I thought they did a very good job with this game, an upgrade. Like you said, they kind of upgraded a lot of things, but when talking about crafting, I thought it was one of the best parts. There's so many weapons, there's all the armors that you can get, and then you can build, elaborate forts, pretty easily. And I thought that was a very, a very interesting part. I think they made the crafting a little bit easier in this game. And the one thing I do want to point out too, it's not like a barren world, right? There's this open world, and there's a lot of things to get, a lot of materials to get to craft with. So with these open world games, sometimes, there's not a lot of things in the map, but I think especially Grounded 2 did a very good job, and it takes you right to the setting. Super realistic. All the bugs, their movements, I think, the characters' movements were pretty good as well. But yeah, definitely the crafting for me.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of drove you more to the actual plot. I feel like in the original game, they kind of just said, all right, you're out here and deal with whatever. And I felt like they actually kind of gave you objectives that were actually like meaningful to drive you to get to these next points, like telling you to, hey, go into this ant hive and go find to this specific area. Like, they didn't do that in the original game. They just said, hey, go explore. And then you were just out there exploring and building forts and stuff like that. And you really had no story development really for a good chunk of time until it was months and even a year into the game's preview and stuff like that. So they did do a better job at that. If you like the content so far, drop a thumbs up and hit that sub button and notification bell to be notified on new videos or live streams. If you want to support the channel, consider becoming a member to get access to some really cool perks and rewards. Now let's jump back into the video. But with the good, we have to talk about the bad, and I'm going to be honest with you, there's a lot of bad, in my opinion, in this game. This preview, and I have to keep saying that, and this is like one of the more frustrating parts about Grounded 2 is, yes, Grounded 1 was a community driven game, right? It's a game that was a preview for such a long period of time, And then right when it got released to PlayStation 5, it then was completed. Right now you can sell it and buy it and stuff. But then if you really think about it, Grounded 2, the preview comes out, what, a year later after that is officially done. So it's kind of just like this preview concept has positives where you can build the game and follow the community advice and develop the game the way you want it to be developed. But at the same time, it's not a completed product, and there's so much issues with the game, whether it's the glitches. Like if you do a hosted game like we did, I'm the host, I have less glitches on my end, but Haki over here was getting glitched out every 2 seconds. I have a clip literally where Haki is frozen solid like Medusa is frozen with stone, and I turn around and I just see him getting attacked by mosquitoes, and a wolf spider is like just destroying him, and I'm like, well, I can't help him there, and then I have to then run away. And what makes matters worse, in that same clip, I literally have like no way of surviving. And I think that's the other part. It's like you have to have a squad of 4 in this game in order to even be relatively successful. And yes, they have difficulties, like they have the mild, medium, and hot, like almost like I'm doing buffalo sauces or something like that. It's like all of them are horrible. Like each one is not easy at all. And I'm not saying like, oh, just get good, Mars. Like, hey, listen, we're all gamers here. We play a lot of different games. I beat Elden Ring twice. Right? I have no problem playing difficult games. But at the same time, you can't make it where a game is near impossible to survive in an encounter with mosquitoes just to get back your resources. Even if I lower the difficulty to mild, which we had to do just to try to get further in the game to just experience it more, like even then, it just really felt like the difficulty didn't matter. It didn't change anything. And I refused to go in the Gerber baby mode, which is the other difficulties, but you can't even change it to that unless you create a brand new world and you set it to that in the very beginning of their start. So we're not going to restart our experience just to put it into that mode. Like, we want to just experience the game, go through as much of the story as possible, so we have a fuller kind of scale look at this game before we give an official rating for it. But it really just feels like there's a lot of issues, whether it's glitches, whether it's just balancing. Like, there's so many problems with this preview right now that it really just makes it like unbearable at times. Like, hey, we played this game a lot, like we played a good amount, and I didn't feel any enjoyment. Like, I didn't feel like, oh wow, this is really cool. Like, yeah, there are moments where I was like, oh, this is like, it looks really nice. Wow, we got this really cool weapon. Like, but then at the same time, like, I leveled up my weapons and armors, and I still was getting bodied by wolf spiders and everything else in between. Like, it really didn't do much there, especially when it comes to just difficulty. But Haki, what is it bad for you here?
Yeah, dude, you hit it right on the head, man. Pretty much unplayable. With even 2 pretty experienced video game players, you know, we want that third, we want the fourth. I bet if you have a full squad, the game definitely gets a little bit better, but it is way too hard. You name dropped Elden Ring. That's what I have in my head, man. It's Elden Ring just with bugs, which is crazy scary. It's really hard, and there's really no reason for it to be that hard. It's definitely, I feel like, going to drive people away. And like you said, man, I don't want to play on the Gerber baby mode. I want to play like, you know, at least medium, but there's no shot I can even do that. You know, we were kind of getting bodied. And you also mentioned, dude, the glitches. I wonder how long they're going to name this a preview, or when they're actually going to come out with the full game, because I was glitching. I was getting eaten by wolf spiders. You know, I was pretty much glitched for about a minute, 2 minutes at certain points. And yeah, like you said, man, he had some pretty funny clips of me just getting destroyed and my guys just sitting there. So listen, if you have a squad and it's not a preview and they fix the glitches, you know, I'm sure it'll get better. But those were the 2 big bads for me.
It's just like, no, the problem is, like, I don't mind a difficult game. Like, you know, we get killed. All right, let's backtrack to our backpacks. Let's go grab all of our resources again. That's fine. But then, like, we go through all that, like, difficulty to get there, and then, you know, Haki gets frozen because the game is broken, and so then he gets frozen, and now I'm playing defend the ball carrier, and I'm trying to defend Haki from getting attacked by every other insect, and I'm just like, I can't defend against a wolf spider, a scorpion, 2 mosquitoes all at the same time. It's like, I can't do that, and then you lose all your resources every time you die again, and it's like, there's no reprieve. There's not even a chance that you have to survive. You have to have 4 players to play this game. If you don't, you're really gonna lose every single time. Like, it's unfortunate, because I feel like if they manage that part, we at least can say, hey, let's just play the game as much as possible. Yeah, it might be easier to kill some of these bugs, but at the same time, like, at least like make it manageable. Like easy doesn't feel like easy. Like medium felt like we're playing Elden Ring. I can't even imagine what hard was. I can't fathom the difficulty of hard. Like I can't even, it's like literally fighting Melania every time I fight an insect. Like I wouldn't be able to do that. Like that'd be so difficult. But with the bad, let's just jump right into our Galactic Grade, and we're going to give a full kind of review score of the preview so far. And I just want to be clear here. This is a preview. So yes, we're going to give a score for a preview. We have to. But this is where it is right now. Could this score get better for me? It could. If the game gets better, then the score will go up. If it gets worse, then it gets worse. But I'm going to be honest with you. I have this as a bad game. This is like a 5 for me. I'm going to be real. This is not a good game. I really had a difficult time thinking of a good score for this, mainly because, yes, it is an improvement on the basic premise of Grounded 1. It's a bigger map, more insects. Feels like there's more of a conspiracy story behind it, which I like. It was way different than Grounded 1. Had literally nothing for you to go for a long period of time. You had to find out more stuff as the game was developed. But even that being the case, the difficulty, the glitches, just the inability to consistently have a decent time in the game just makes it bad, right? And I think that if they made some balancing changes, they fixed the glitches, they give you more of a reprieve from like, it literally, like, I feel like I'm a squirrel in the forest looking out for hawks every other second. I literally have no, and the worst part is, I think a squirrel has a better chance of avoiding getting killed. I would literally be annihilated in a second. That's what the problem is with this game. It does give you that feeling of like, I gotta look over my shoulder because I'm in the wild. I might get killed at any second. And I like that. That was what the Grounded 1 was appealing to me, because it literally made you feel like you're in the wild. And that's great. But everything else, like, it's super difficult. Like you can't even like stay alive long enough to really enjoy the game, and I feel like that's something that is a problem. And I'll be honest with you, I would say play later. I mean, I think that this is not necessarily a not play at all. I think this is a play later game. I think that with more updates, the game will get better. It's a preview. It's not fully developed. And I think with more updates, the game probably will be more enjoyable. I was more appealed to play Grounded 2 than 1, because Grounded 2 actually gave me some story kind of driven aspects to go into the future. The map is way bigger to explore. There is, and you can tell by just looking at the map itself, the map is going to get way bigger. Like they even the spots they gave you was pretty sizable, but like there's going to be more stuff that's going to drop later on. It's just right now with the glitches and the game not being balanced at all, I would not recommend to play right now. Wait later, and it's free. I think that's the best part. It's a game preview. You have Game Pass. It's automatically included. Just download it. I mean, it's it's free. So at the end of the day, you can play it later. You're not missing anything right now. I was slightly excited because I wanted to see what they were going to pull off with this. I just have to wait. I think that's my honest opinion. But Haki, what is your Galactic Grade, and what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I am pretty close to you. I'm usually a little bit higher than both you and Frank the Tank, and I am here. I'm only at a 5.5 though, man. I don't think that this was an enjoyable experience. Like you said, I definitely think the bad outweighed the good. Again, the setting in this game is really good. It's very big open world. The bugs look great. The weapons, the crafting, as I talked about before, you can do a lot with the crafting, a lot of armor. But the bad, just how hard it is, and I get it. They say it's a preview. When is the actual game going to come out, right? But the glitches, they have to fix the glitches. Now, the one thing that I will say, I think if the Marsman crew, us three, or maybe we get one more, on our team, I feel like the game will get better. So if you have a 3-stack or 4 people to play with, I would play it now, only because it's free. But do not waste your time doing any high level. See if you like the game. If you don't have anyone to play with, right? If you don't even have one person to play with, this is definitely a play later. But if you have even one friend, try it out. But just get ready, man, because this game hurt, especially when you play for an hour and then you lose glitches and you lose a lot of stuff. So yeah, I mean, it hurt. Dude, so it's a grind, and I completely agree with you. Like I think, and I'll even go further. If you say that you have no one else to play with, you're playing by yourself, I wouldn't play this game. You can't play this game. Like the only way you could play this game is you start a world and you put it on there's a game mode, I think it's just called creative, that you can't die.
and it's just like you just have to collect resources and build, like that's all you're meant to do in this game, I would just play on that game mode and just have fun. Like, yeah, you know what, you'll run away from insects, there's no fear of losing, it's just like I'm just building, I'm collecting resources and all that stuff. But I don't really know how many people really gonna sit there and enjoy it. I feel like that game mode was mean for kids to build stuff with, you know what I mean? But like, unfortunately, it's just that's the only way to really play this game if you're by yourself. But like you said, you got to have at least 3. I think 4 is the best only way for me to really feel like this is a really enjoyable, because at least you could team up on insects and like really just get them done, you know what I mean? Just get rid of them. But yeah, at the end of the day, I really want to see what this can be down the line. But what do you think about Grounded 2? If you've got to play the game yet, let us know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't, let us know what you would like to see in the game for it to be enjoyable. If you like the content, make sure you drop a thumbs up and subscribe to support the channel. Until next time, this is Marsman and Haki signing off. Game on.